It seems 2023 turned out to be the year we all thought 2022 would be, but a whole bunch of delays ensured that 2023 became stacked with incredible new games. But strangely, it also turned out to be one of the greatest years we've seen for returning old games as well. Debate raged all year as to whether remasters and remakes should count towards Game of the Year awards due to them technically not being new. But the fact that it was even a discussion simply showed how good quality remasters and remakes can be. While there was a ton of fantastic games this year, not all of them can make the top 10, so I'll just start with a couple of honourable mentions. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. All fantastic games that, as good as they were, didn't quite squeeze into the top 10 for me. Now without further ado, here's what made my top 10 for 2023. In at number 10, Thunder Ray. It's no secret that Punch-Out is one of my favourite Nintendo franchises. Timeless gameplay in a simple puzzle game disguised as an arcade boxer. But Nintendo hasn't touched the franchise since the Wii, and I've been needing a fix. In steps Thunder Ray from Purple Tree Studios, as close to a modern take on Super Punch-Out as we'll get in 2023, with incredible hand-drawn visuals and gameplay that doesn't stray from the formula that made the franchise that inspired it such a classic. Number 9, GoldenEye 007. Come on now, you knew this was going to be here. Will Jesse count it towards this vote? Probably not, but I don't care. I've craved the return of GoldenEye 007 for such a long time that nothing was going to stop me putting this in my top 10. Is it the lost 360 Xbox Live Arcade port we were all hoping for? Unfortunately not. But is it the definitive way to play the original Nintendo 64 classic? Very much yes. Number 8, Sifu. I'm aware this isn't a 2023 game, but it is a 2023 game for Xbox, and it's simply incredible. This is everything you'd want from a full 3D take on the classic 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up formula. Sifu has a chic sense of style and serious depth to the combat that allows the player the freedom to think on their feet, shift on the fly, and take out groups of enemies, all while looking like a seasoned martial artist while doing so. Lucky number 7, Hi-Fi Rush. The shadow drop that took the gaming world by storm. Hi-Fi Rush came out of nowhere and didn't give anyone an opportunity not to love it. While I will always credit Jesse with setting the tone on Hi-Fi Rush's public reception, I doubt any gamer worth their salt could resist this game's rhythm-based charms, gorgeous animated visuals, and intentionally cheesy humour. Easily the biggest surprise of 2023. Number 6, Resident Evil 4. Much like Resident Evil 2 in 2019, 2023's version of Resident Evil 4 is for all intents and purposes a new game. But let's just call it a reimagining of the 2005 GameCube classic. Gone are the tank controls and other cumbersome inventory management issues, Resident Evil 4 is everything you'd want in a modern take on the classic third-person, fixed-camera survival horror franchise. Alive at number 5 is Dead Space. Now this is borderline. Dead Space 2023 really straddles that line between being a straight up high-end remaster or definitive edition of a game and being a remake. I honestly lean towards the former, but it does contain some new content and the original is such a fantastic survival horror game, and the effort put into this version makes it by far the best way to play what I've always called the best Resident Evil game ever made. Number 4, Metroid Prime Remastered. Much like Dead Space, and as the name indicates, Metroid Prime Remastered is really just a super high quality remaster. But again, you're talking about a high-end remaster of one of the greatest video games of all time. The visual leap here, at 60 no less, is beyond what most would think the Switch hardware is even capable of. which is really a testament to the talent at Retro Studios. This really is the only way you should play this incredible game. On to number 3, Street Fighter 6. After what many thought was a lackluster entry in the storied fighting game franchise in Street Fighter V, I will say I absolutely loved it myself, Street Fighter 6 brought the series roaring back to life. Capcom ditched Unreal Engine for their own RE engine, which has demonstrated its staggering flexibility by working near flawlessly for a fighting game, and they very directly addressed the lack of content issues with 5 by making 6 the most feature-packed Street Fighter game ever. All this while maintaining the same tried and true mechanics that made the Street Fighter series the king of the genre. Number 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That's right, a Nintendo game did not make my number 1 this year. I know, shocking, right? Wonder is a perfect example of giving a new developer the freedom to take what was becoming a somewhat tired formula and allowing them to breathe new life into it without straying from the core foundation of what makes the series great. Super Mario Bros. Wonder changes just enough of the 2D Mario blueprint laid out with the deluxe games that it truly earned the right to drop the new moniker attached to the Wii and Wii U and DS games and fall in line with the original NES series of games. The two biggest changes coming in the form of ridiculously beautiful visuals and animation, as well as far tighter gameplay which eschews the ice skating gameplay that series was known for. Wonder has comfortably taken the mantle of my favourite 2D Mario game of all time. And now, on to my Game of the Year for 2023. Alan Wake 2. While many may be surprised not to see a Nintendo game as my number 1 this year, I'm not. Alan Wake on Xbox 360 was my Game of the Year for 2010 and one of my favourite games of all time. I've yearned for a sequel for so long, and when Alan Wake Remastered was announced back in 2021, many hoped it would be a testing of the waters to see whether a sequel should go ahead. Thankfully, Epic Games gave us what Microsoft didn't and helped Remedy bring Alan Wake back. Alan Wake 2 is all I had hoped it would be. It took what made the original so beloved, but modernised it in all the right ways, and wasn't shy to borrow some elements from fellow survival horror games to improve its own standing. As Jesse mentions in his review, it feels like the culmination of all of Remedy's learnings over the course of their many classic third-person action games. It's truly a worthy winner. And that's it for 2023. What did you all think of my list? Be sure to leave comments below and try not to abuse me too much on Twitter. And as always, if you like what we do, please like, subscribe, follow us on our socials, and if you think you can spare a coffee a month, support us on Patreon. And don't forget to visit XboxEra.com for more. Ciao for now.